Alright, welcome back to the channel. Today is Black Friday and I just finished packing as many boxes as I could. FedEx kind of screwed us. They left brake hoses. They attempted to deliver, but they didn't actually attempt to deliver because I've been here all day. So couldn't really pack as many boxes as I would have liked, but those will go out tomorrow. Supposedly they'll come back tomorrow, so we'll see. So since I'm done packing boxes, I figure it's time I can spoil myself now and unbox my KWs. So gave a little sneak peek in the last video, but it's time to actually unbox them. All right, so these are them. Yeah, basically this is hands down the best coilover you can buy. This is not like KW's other products. This is actually their competition line. So this exact setup is not exact setup, different spring rates, but this is the exact coilover that BMW used through 2012 for their E92 GT3 race cars. So I had the feels on the car for a long time. I really liked them. They were just a one-way adjustable. Obviously, as the car evolved, it's now track mod cars, so I can go up to a three-way adjustable. And you know, we actually PRI like this time last year, which will be at PRI in a few weeks. So if you're going to be there, stop by and say hi. We'll have a booth at the G-Force booth as well. So we're going to have a display for the Supra 88 and their billet axles. So come check that out. Yeah, so last year I talked to like JRZ, KW, and MCS, basically just like, you know, where do we want to go from here with the car, what my goals are. The crazy part is literally these KW competition three-ways are less expensive than an MCS two-way setup. Yeah, these all said and done were $6,500, custom, like to the bone. Like had to fill out like, oh God, I think 2 or 3 pages. 4 KW, you know, weights, corner weights, tires, aero, all of that stuff. And then, yeah, they spec'd it out. And then, yeah, so the actual like hardware of this is the same hardware that's used today on the Porsche GT3s, Porsche GT2s, all of the BMW motorsports. So if you're watching IMSA racing and you're seeing the prototypes or the GT3 class, GTD class, all of that, this is literally the same thing that they would be using, which is pretty cool because you know it frickin' works. Three-way adjustable, we'll see if I even know how to use these. The rear, obviously a true rear coilover. Nothing crazy about that. And then let's get out some fronts. Came with canister holders, came with some sway bars. We're gonna be making our own. We'll talk about that in a little bit. And yeah, then the front. So let's take all the pretty packaging off. Slide this down. And voila. Ta-da! It's like holding a child, basically. So yeah, it's an inverted tube, so I think this is like a 40 mil tube, which is frickin' beefy if you compare it to like my old ones. It's super robust. Ride height is done with these shims at the bottom, so they sell a bunch of different sizes and stuff so that I can adjust it to whatever ride height I want. I don't have to mess with preload or anything like that, which is nice. You got this interesting way to attach sway bars, but I've seen on most of the competition stuff, this is just how they do it. It looks like it's just clamped on, so they gave us a sway bar. We'll just measure it and make our own. But it looks like I could adjust the height of the sway bar. I'm not sure if that actually does anything. I wouldn't think so. I guess shorter is better. Yeah, radial bearings, everything like that. Actually, a crazy thing is to adjust like the springs, to adjust the spring rate or change the springs, you actually have to take this apart backwards. This whole top assembly doesn't get removed, which is weird. You actually unscrew the bottom and the whole tube assembly comes out the bottom, and then you change springs, shove it back in, and then tighten back this nut, which I saw in the directions and it's kind of intimidating. So I'm just going to keep KW's recommendations on spring rates. Speaking of spring rates, the front is a 14K and the rear is a 100K. So it's a little bit stiffer in the front than what I have with Field, but the rear is the same. The goal of coilovers is always to use the softest spring rate possible and let the strut and the mechanical grip of the car actually do the work until you get into big aero stuff, and then you obviously need spring rates so the car just doesn't bottom out everywhere. So yeah, this is them. Funny thing is, so obviously I have a non-M car. These are set up for an E92 M3. So in the meantime, while we do that, we're actually just going to be converting the front and rear geometry of the car to an F80 M4. So I guess we could probably go over to the car and talk about that now. Let's go take a look. Good? Mm-hmm. Kendra's on camera, so we're learning.
I'm inverted. I'm getting used to it.
You're not inverted.
I try to use it like it's inverted.
Oh, you guys are fucking weird. Okay. M4 knuckle. What's the point of this? So the actual hub and stuff with the M14 studs, you can just bolt this onto an E92 non-M, E92 M3. That doesn't matter. But the actual knuckle casting itself it's lighter. It's about 5 pounds lighter per side, so that's really good. And it has better geometry for bump steer and stuff like that. So even though we're using adjustable arms to compensate for a little bit, the geometry pickup points are still a little bit better, and it's actually a little closer in, so you can turn a little bit quicker. So the front of the car will get all of these, and then obviously because this was designed for it, this fits right in. So bingo bongo, this will go through the hole. We got low speed, high speed. KW is going to give me a class on how to actually use this. And cool thing is we get to talk to their race team a bunch about doing this. We're getting another set of these for a car we're going to release in a little bit, so stay tuned for that. But the cool thing is obviously these guys are factory race teams basically, so they're going to send us a bunch of setups for Mid-Ohio, Lime Rock, and those will be interesting because we obviously change some of the parameters for different tracks like that, but where Lime Rock is all rights except for one left, it'll be interesting to hear from KW what they would do for BMW factory cars with a track like that. So interested to see the feedback that they give, and yeah, now let's move to the back of the car. Lights are off. Should I take this one? All right, so as you can see, State of the Union, there is no front or rear suspension in the car right now. Basically just doing a full nut and bolt check of everything, and then the rear end is gonna be not completely different, but it's gonna be pretty different. So, all right, actually I don't know. I'm gonna set this down for a second.
What am I looking at?
So old crusty dusty. So this thing hasn't been out of the car in a few years. As you can see, she's got some miles on her, some wear and tear, but yeah, still good old 488 bracket, everything just holding in there. And axles are still good. I am gonna send those out to be rebuilt this winter. But so on this side of the car, you'll notice this was the old suspension setup that I was running. Had adjustable toe, adjustable camber, E92 M3 guides, and billet front forks. Still with an E92 M3 lower control arm. That way it works better for the true rear coilover, although it does work if you have a non-M as well. All right, and now for this side. This whole side has now been converted to F80. Okay. Just go back, let's just cut it.
I always want to do it inverted.
Why? Who inverts? You never played video games.
I don't know why, it just like, I don't know, I'm sorry.
Point down to go down, point up to go up.
It's really hard. It's a really hard concept, okay?
Okay, we're back to this side. All right, and now for this side, everything this way over is F82 M4 or F80 M3. So how this is gonna work is it's gonna have an F80 knuckle, our new F80 outer stub for the G-force axles. It will keep the E92 M3 sway bar. This is the E92 M3 Hotchkiss. For some reason, the E92 M3 version actually had adjustments, the non-M didn't. They're both the same bar, so if you have one, just buy the M3. We'll have our new adjustable upper links. You can use OEM F80 upper links with this swap as well. The rear will have adjustable toe. You could use this, I think. We're gonna have to put it on the alignment rack and double check, but through some basic measuring, it looks close. And then the front will be a custom link because, you know, the bottom is a fork, so there's 2 forks on either side, but for an F80 M2, it'll have a rod end on the inside and a fork link on that end. So I have the 3D print, although I didn't bring it out with me, so we'll just gloss over that. So, why the hell am I doing this, you might ask? The knuckles are, again, 5 pounds lighter, 4.8 pounds lighter. I can use the F80 wheel bearings in the rear are actually bolt-in. So for us with race cars and stuff, we have to change wheel bearings basically every year, or else they just get crusty, they die of heat really fast. So the fact that this is just a bolt-in bearing is way easier for me. It's similar to how the fronts are, so you don't need a press to press in or out anything. If you didn't already, you could run the M4 brakes. They obviously just bolt right on. And it does add 1.5 inches of track width to the car. So for me, who did a 1M conversion, right, I've been running just big spacers because the forge lines are actually closer to an F80 offset. So now with that extra 1.5 inches, I don't have to run any spacers and stuff like that. So if you have a wide body or a drift car or something like that, and you're not interested in running 40mm spacers or 50mm spacers, right, to make up for egregious wide bodies, like if you did Mike's or N5 tuner or something like that, you can do this, and then, yeah, voila, you're just 1.5 inches wider. So, yeah, I think that's basically everything for the rear. Obviously, this little guy will sneak in this hole and mount down there. Voila. Super fancy. All right, and now since life is kind of a shit show with Black Friday, probably in a week or so, we're gonna actually be releasing all adjustable links for E80s, E90s, F80s, Supra, a bunch of vehicles. Right now, these are 3D prints. We have our prototypes on the way, but basically we're using FK rod ends, only the heavy duty version. A lot of misconception is people think that rod ends just live forever. They actually don't. The heavy duty kind obviously live much longer. They're all going to be upsized so that the longevity of them is better compared to some of the competitors on the market right now. But realistically, even if you do have a race car and stuff like that, you should probably change them every few seasons because they will get play and eventually wear out. They're PTFE lined, they're F1 fit, so they're the tightest ball possible, but they're just not meant to live forever. So yeah, we're gonna have everything, camber, toe, the front, caster. We're gonna do all of the front links as well, the toe, the guide, the bottom, everything. So look out for that soon. That, like I said, that should be probably a few weeks out, just kind of trying to wrap up Black Friday in life. And then all the test pieces are coming. So we'll be able to mock it up on the car, do all the alignments, go through all the checks and everything like that. So stay tuned. All right, so now that I guess we went over the rear of the car and kind of the front, you know, all the suspension changes and stuff like that, it's mostly just to be able to develop parts and things like that, parts for us to sell. But I guess state of the union of my car, it's in a really good shape. I finished a bunch of events last year. I had no real issues. The only issue I had at the last few events was I blew a sway bar link and the sway bar decided to grind itself on the axles. So we're making our own custom sway bar links anyway, so that probably will be fixed. Powertrain wise and everything was pretty sweet, so no changes there. We do obviously have the fiberglass doors, so I still gotta put an outer door handle on. I have an inner door handle, but yeah, we got the fiberglass doors. So these only weigh 12.5 pounds, so we're actually going to be doing a video on these fitment, what vehicles we're gonna stock and stuff like that. These do come from the UK, so we are the only people in the States that are gonna carry these. So very easy way to drop 150 pounds from your car. Inside, nothing's changing. Everything's sweet. I might remove the blower motor. I haven't fully decided on that, but I haven't used any of that crap in years, so I don't really know if we need it. In the engine bay and stuff, everything up here. Obviously I gotta put the knuckles on, but yeah, we'll replace all 3 of those links with our links. The KWs will go in there. AP brakes are sweet, so no issues there. Bumper's hanging on for dear life. Oh, actually, we did notice, well, underneath the car, taking the rear subframe off, that I do have a crack in an engine mount. So a little sketchy on that one, but we're gonna have to pull that off and re-weld it. Nothing crazy. Other engine-based stuff. What else are we gonna do? I don't know. I might go to an E92 M3 radiator. It's just a little bit bigger. I didn't have issues with cooling, even on the hottest days, but kind of just like tinkering with shit, so might as well. Oh, because I can do that now because where I don't have the bottom mount intercooler for the N54 style intercooler, I can go to a full face radiator. The E92 M3 is the E92 M3 is 4 inches longer than this one, which is like a 25% area increase. These are very short just because of how the front mount intercooler was mounted from the factory. BMW just didn't have a lot of area to put one. Yeah, heck, I mean, everything else works. I might send this off to get wrapped, but people hate the gold. I don't like the gold either, but in some testing at Mid-Ohio at the end of the year, we found that this black intake pipe, just black with the black filter sitting, 4 inches from that. This, after a full 20-minute session, the cone itself was like 118 degrees Fahrenheit, and this pipe was actually like 155 degrees Fahrenheit. So obviously with the bottom mount turbo, this area gets really hot, but we hit this with the heat gun, and this was only 105. So even though this is pushing the charged air and it's sit literally on top of the manifold, even the bottom part, this was still almost 50% cooler than this pipe here. So I know people hate the gold, and I'm not a huge fan of the gold either, but this stuff works like crazy. That's why if you open up, or if you look online for any real race cars as well, I mean, obviously I think the professionals use real gold, like actual 24 karat gold. We have the Poor People Summit Racing version, but it works a lot. So we're keeping it, can't really make it better. I could go get it covered, I forget what they're called, header shield or something like that, I think, and then even gold tape that, but it just works. Yeah, I think really one of the only things is just, I guess, trying to improve efficiency, just trying to make it all just a little bit better. You win a few percent here and there, and the car just is happier overall. So I'll probably actually patch this hole in the hood. Thank you to the tow guy at Gingerman. I really appreciate that. But yeah, Mike wants me to put another tow hook out at the top of the car. I don't really know if I'm going to, just because the last one destroyed the hood, obviously. But yeah, with the aluminum front end, actually, see, look, we're spiraling now. The front end was one way when I did have the front mount intercooler and stuff, so I'll probably end up just redoing this section, the dash bar section, holds the headlights and everything, with the new setup, just to make it a little bit cleaner. I don't know if I'll use aluminum or just a really thin chromoly this time. I guess we'll play it by ear and see whichever one works better. And then, yeah, we'll keep headlights. No one makes a headlight delete. You just do that because you're running out of things to do and not bored. It's gonna be a long winter. I don't even know. Aero is sweet. The skid plate held up well. I mean, I beat the crap out of this thing. Just make some little improvements to it, but realistically, I mean, it held up well. It definitely got the shit kicked out of it. The car, the first time I ran Mid-Ohio, I ran way too much front brake in the car and way too much front downforce, and it was porpoising basically at the end of the straight around like 160, so that was a little sketchy. We dropped the rear about 3/4 of an inch, leveled out rake, and it helped a lot. It totally got rid of the issue. Mile an hour went up a little bit, just way less drag from the front end of the car. So I don't really know how much more efficiency there is in that. The floor, the diffuser's sweet. Jamie, buy the diffuser, stop slacking off. I know you want it. I even made him one. It's over in the corner. He told me to. You told me to. Now you're backing out though, because you need a new turbo or some crap you're trying to make an excuse for. All right, we're gonna call it a video there. The rest of that was just kind of me rambling for the State of the Union. Nothing different than every true State of the Union, honestly. But yeah, so if you made it this far, like and subscribe, please. We're on the road to 10,000 subs. We're gonna get there eventually, hopefully. You can do it. It's free. Kendra's lipping something to me. Do you just want to say that? Because I don't really know what you're saying.
I was just mimicking you.
Oh, you're mimicking. Wow, guys, now she's making fun of me. Yeah, it's Black Friday. I think this video will probably get out, hopefully this weekend. Now, just say things.
Get your t-shirt.
Oh, you want me to show a t-shirt? All right, these are new t-shirts we just got. I forgot. We're doing merch things now. We're trying hard. Seems as a garage. This is what you wear at what you wear to all your Christmas parties now, because it's not Thanksgiving anymore. But yeah, really let the parents know exactly what you need for Christmas, subtly. We have a BMW one. We'll have a Supra shirt pretty soon. And yeah, should be sweet. Until next time, take care. Peace.